Another aspect of decision making is called hindsight bias. Hindsight bias is the feeling that, oh, I knew that would happen. How many people have felt that? Pretty much everyone, especially about sporting events. Oh, I knew he was going to do that. I knew that would happen. Well, hindsight bias is basically an overreaction to the feeling that we can predict events with more certainty than we actually can. So if we look at it in the stock market example, the market goes on and then it jumps up. And after the fact, at this point in time, t equals 0, which is now, at this point in time, you may very well feel, oh, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to go up. I just felt it was going to go up. I know what was going to happen. Well, the emotions and the mental aspects of this can mislead you considerably. So the question is, what's going to happen to it now? Well, I don't know what's going to happen to it now, but I knew what was going to happen to it then. Well, every time we have a feeling that it's going to go up or going to go down, the stock market, and it actually confirms it, well, we think that, oh, yes, of course I knew what was going to happen. But when it doesn't happen, we dismiss it, and we don't give it the same probabilities. So what you should do in cases like this, where you feel like, oh, I knew it was going to happen, that was obvious, what you should do is, instead of accepting that you know the past, is start predicting the future. What is your possibility for a gain, a flat market, or a loss from this point? If you don't predict it ahead of time, you can't tell if your predictions are going to be true. So when you look at a situation and the market's going along, if you think the market's going up, make a note of it. Write it down. Put it in writing. Put it down on paper. If you put it down on paper and you say at this date the market's going to go up 10%, and the market actually does go up at 10%, then you go, oh, maybe I'm actually learning something. But if the market goes down 10%, then you have to accept the fact that you were wrong or that you lost on this. This is particularly true of people who want to trade stocks or get in the market in short-term intervals. It's really easy to think you could do that until you start trading on paper and writing down your decisions at t equals 0. In other words, right now, what would you do? Write down, I would buy, say, buy Microsoft at whatever the price is, say $30 a share. Well, if you do this here and trade it, and then you wait for the market to move on, then you can see if you were right or not. If you don't write it down and don't have that benchmark to make your decisions or to base your calculations on your decisions, then you can suffer from hindsight bias. In other words, oh, I knew that was going to go up. I should have bet on it. Well, you're going to assess those probabilities very inaccurately if you just rely on your memory. So you actually have to write it down. If you're going to think about your results in the future, you have to compare written results with other written results. Microsoft went to 32 and you gained money. That's an acceptable way to look at how well you're doing. What isn't a good way is to just emotionally look at it and say, oh, I knew that. And while that can work for sporting events and is good for conversations around the dinner table and other situations, if you're going to talk about making financial decisions, the example of being emotionally attached to feeling like you make better decisions than you actually do has to be confirmed with evidence. So look at the evidence of what's going on and not at, oh, I thought about it, and yes, of course I would have made that decision.